Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good day, and good night. My name is Roberto Castillo, and I'm born in Guatemala. I'm very happy for that. And the documental that you can see next is about what people think about Guatemala. Okay, in this documental I interview two people about what them thinks about or traditions or places or typical food or something like that. Okay. The first person that I interview was born in Guatemala and knows a lot of typical food and about it. And the second people that I interview was born in United States. So we have different opinion about Guatemala people and American people. Okay, let's start. With my mom, and she born in Guatemala, and she knows a lot about typical food, and she tells us what she knows about that.
I cook since you were little, and I was married long time ago. I love to cook and prepare typical food.
Okay, and what kind of typical food you can prepare?
I can prepare hocom, I can prepare pepian, and I can prepare fiambre.
About each typical food, what is your favorite?
I love the fiambre.
Fiambre. And about the other traditions of Guatemala, what do you think about that?
I love the Holy Week because it is important and it is very, very important for our country to keep our traditions going.
Okay, and what you tell to the people that live in other country about visit Guatemala and our typical food?
I tell them that it is delicious and you have to learn and you have to know a lot of beautiful places here in Guatemala because they are beautiful.
And in these beautiful places, what is your favorite?
I love Atitlan in Panajachel.
Why you love Atitlan?
Because I like the big volcano and the lake.
And when you think about our race, the Mayas, and
it is an important culture and they were very advanced in the period they lived, and it is important to know and to learn about them.
Okay, and in the places in Guatemala City, where is your favorite?
The places in Guatemala City, I love where we live because we live in a protected area in the Encinal. It is called the Alush Cerro.
And what do you think about Guatemala?
Guatemala is beautiful. I love to live here, but it is important for our people to study because when they study, they keep away from the violence.
And what do you think about the violence in Guatemala?
It is a lot of violence because the education is not so good and the authorities doesn't care about it.
And you think the authorities of this moment are bad?
They don't care a lot about security, about health, and that is not okay for our people.
Okay, and you think this violence can be stopped in a moment of future?
I think they will stop, but it is difficult to change our authorities and the mind of the people.
Yes, do you think the violence is a trouble to the people that visit Guatemala?
Yes, it's a big trouble because a lot of people doesn't visit Guatemala because of the virus.
Okay, thanks. Thank you for your moment, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm with Mr.
Here in Guatemala for more than 25 years, and I'm an American, but I live here now. And when I first came here, Guatemala was new to me, and I'd like to go every so often to different parts of Guatemala to explore, to see what it was like. And as many people know, usually when you come the bus or the train, there used to be a train that went from Guatemala City to Puerto Barrios, and a couple times I've taken the train. And whenever the train or the bus came to a town, there would be a whole group of women with baskets on their head full of all these typical Guatemalan snacks like empanadas with recozon and loroco, and the different kinds of tacos and tostadas that they would sell to the people on the bus, because the bus would only stop for a few minutes to pick up new passengers and let passengers off, so it was a chance to eat. And that was my first taste of typical Guatemalan food, and I have
Actually, what is your favorite Guatemala food?
my favorite Guatemalan food is there's where I used to live, I don't live there anymore, but just on the corner every night there was a woman that made these kind of tacos out of panza and a kind of avocado, tomato and onion salad. And I always enjoyed when just before I got to my house I would have a few of these tacos that she always sold on. But I think the name that she gave me of these tacos were Beiro or Rulo or something like that. I can't remember exactly the name, but it was made from panza de res, una picado panza de res with a salmon. And they filled you up. 2 or 3 of those would fill you up, and they were very tasty. And but I don't know what happened to her, but she didn't know herself.
And Mr. Roberts, you can prepare some Guatemalan food?
Well, I tried to make the same thing. I didn't make it as good as she does, but when you eat stuff like that, you can kind of see what the ingredients are. But it's, all you need is some a piece of the panza. You cut it up, and then you make a kind of salad dressing with oil and vinegar, and with onions and tomato and stuff like that. And then you put cilantro and stuff on top and make these tacos, 2 tortillas, and it's Rican. I like it.
Okay. But some of these Guatemala food are really easy to prepare, like tostada. You can prepare tostadas.
My experience here in Guatemala, most people make tostadas just with the fried tortillas and a little bit of bean paste and sprinkled cheese on it, or avocado, guacamole, and sometimes just a thin tomato paste. And they're all very good and they're tasty. And it's a really easy snack, and I always enjoy those. And also the more filling tostada with the salpicon, with the ensalada de remolacha and hard-boiled egg. I always love those.
Okay, Carlos, what is your favorite tradition of Guatemala?
Favorite tradition of Guatemala? I like the Best del bufo, like they say. And I always like sarcasm.
And you participate in some tradition of Guatemala, like Semana Santa or something like that?
Some years ago, I used to live in Zone 1, and for 6 years I lived in the same hotel. And when I first came here, And so every year the people would, my hotel was not too far from the Sexta Avenida, and most of the different churches during Semana Santa would pass by right near my hotel. And also the Roberto Castillo used to always come down the Sexta Avenida and so on.
Okay, what do you think about the Guatemalan people?
You know, people is Guatemala, like any other place, there's lots of different types of people, and there's always politics, and there's sometimes it can be pretty testy. And like for instance, one time when I was in the Huelva de Dolores, I went up to Sixth Avenida, and there's some stores I think it used to be called El Cairo, where there was like a overhang over the sidewalk, and some young kids got up there and they started throwing stones at the spectators for the Huelva de Dolores, and one of the stones hit me right in the forehead, and the people said, don't do anything. They said they're trying to, they're Maras. They said the people that were throwing stones were Maras, and they were trying to provoke a situation so that the police would stop the parade. So those are typical things, and they happen in every country. They happen in the United States, they happen in Mexico, just what happened recently with the police killed like 40 students because they were making some protests. But those kind of things they're Guatemala is no different than that.
Okay, what is the best that you like in Guatemala?
I think the weather is perfect. It's not. You can live really well and simply, and if you have to be poor, also one of the better places to be poor, because the weather is so nice. It's terrible to be poor in where it's cold and people are freezing, or where life is more difficult that way. But that's one of the nicest things about Guatemala, because there is a lot of poverty here. But I think that even so, the people don't have so difficult as some people as a country.
Okay, and in these 26 years, what is your best experience that you live in Guatemala?
My best experience in I've had I like hiking, and this is before I came to Guatemala this time, but I with a couple of friends. The first time I came to Guatemala, I had this a nice memory of the three of us raced up Volcan.
Okay, this is it. If you ask me, I think Guatemala is very special place, and I like everything about Guatemala. The only thing I don't like is the violence, but we can live with them. So if you ask me, I'm very happy to be a Chapin, and if you come to Guatemala, I recommend it. Go to La Antigua. It's very special and cultural place, and if you want something to eat, you ask for tamales, chuchitos, tostadas, or in these days we prepare a fiambre. It's a big and very delicious food. Okay, so this is it. Thanks for watching and subscribe.